Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're back on the Duramax Swap C20 project. The goal for tonight is to get done with the sanding on the cab, so tomorrow we can start spraying primer. So let's get started. Alright, so a quick update on where we are with the cab so far. So I've been sanding on this thing for about 2 months. This cab had a few paint jobs on it actually, so you can see a bunch of different layers here. So I've sanded the entire exterior of the cab with 80 and 180 in preparation for getting it sprayed with epoxy primer. So Bill right now is working on the interior, getting the ceiling, the back half, and the dash sanded, because I think before I wasn't going to go with epoxy primer on the inside, but I decided, like, since I'm going to be spraying the outside and there's no doors or glass or anything on it anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and spray the whole thing and get it completely sealed up. The goal tonight is to get everything sanded, which we're almost there. I have a little bit more of the floor to do, a little bit on the A-pillars. Everything else is just about there. When that's done, we'll push this outside. We'll hit it with the air hose and blow it all off, and then we'll pull it back in here. And I bought a gallon of that wax and grease remover from Summit, so we'll get everything wiped down and prepped for primer. And especially on the floor, I'm just doing enough to get it scuffed up so that the lizard skin will stick to it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to use to do the floor. I don't have it yet, so that'll be in a different episode, but I figured that's the easiest way to get the sound dampening and the heat control in there as well. So yeah, less talk, more sanding. All right, it's the next morning. I got my mean bean and I'm ready to get busy on this cab. So we finally got done with all the sanding. So let's get this garage door open, push it outside, and blow off all the sanding dust. Man, it is such a nice day out today, which is crazy for it being, well, I guess it's technically spring now. Today's Sunday. It was daylight savings last night, so yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty day, that's all I'm trying to say. Get this situated out here. It's like not a lot of wind at all either, so cool. Let me grab the air hose. Where did I put that nozzle? Did that ever happen to you guys? Like the one tool you need, and oh, found it. Crisis averted. Should probably have a mask on for this. Also, my compressor's not kicking on, which is weird. That's because I have it turned off. Checks. Decided to shut the garage door because there is just a little bit of wind and it was kind of blowing some of that dust into the shop. So got my mask, continue blowing this thing off. All right. Well, I think I got it blown off pretty good. So next step is get it back in the shop and start wiping it down with the wax and grease remover. So before we roll the cab back into the shop, I figured I'd show you guys another little project that I've been working on. So a bunch of years ago, we had a guy put in that fence that you can see back there, and man, he did a terrible, terrible job. So I decided to try my hand at fence building. So I'm using 3x3 square tube, and yeah, just welding it together at the top. I'm gonna weld in some bottom horizontal slats in there as well, and then do like horizontal cedar planks in between. So this is kind of slowly coming together as the weather permits. So another one of the reasons why I'm a little slow getting content out to you guys, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I do everything around here.
You sure about
and
that?
sometimes don't have all the time I would like to have for the automotive projects. But anyway, let's get back to it. So this is probably as far as you can get from a professional spray booth, obviously. But I want to knock down the dust as much as I can for whenever we get ready to spray in here. So I'm going to wet the floor down and squeegee it out, and that should take care of most of the dust. Yeah, the water coming up is turning black by the time it gets outside, so definitely picking up a decent amount of dirt. Come on. There we go. All right, I got a spray bottle, the wax and grease remover, and some dollar store microfibers. So let me get this spray bottle filled up, and then we can start wiping this cab down. Let's see how much I can spill. Nope, let's get a funnel. Let's do that. All right, that should help about 10%. Still spilling, still spilling. All right, there we go. How do you not spill out of one of these things? Like this? All right. Now that half of it is in my tool cart. I'd like to get one of those big sprayers where you pump it up. Save the wrist, you know. All right. Figured I'd start with the top here. Like good a place as any. These initial wipes are probably going to be pretty dirty. Well, not too bad, actually, which is good. Probably need to put my mask back on. Of course, I got my gloves on, so I'm not transferring any oils to the surface, which would defeat the purpose of wiping it down with the oil and grease remover. Alrighty. All right, now I just got to do everything else. All right, the initial and second wipe down is complete, so now it's time to start mixing up our epoxy. All right, so we are in brand new territory here. I've never done this before, so we're gonna learn together. First impressions, this stuff stinks. It has a really, really strong smell to it, and it's super thick. I don't know if you can tell since this is black, but there you go. It's super goopy, so it's gonna be a minute while I get this mixed up. All right, I've been mixing this for about 10 minutes, and you can see it's pretty thick stuff. Kind of understand why it's a 1-to-1 mix with the activator. So that looks pretty uniform. All right, so like I said, it's 1-to-1. So let me find my 1-to-1 scale. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? 1-to-1. So I'm gonna go to 5 here and then the 5 there with the activator. But so I don't spill this everywhere, I'm gonna put some tape on the end of this can. Stuff's pretty thick, so I'm gonna double it up. See if I can make a little spout here. We'll see if that works. All right, going to the first 5. Okay. Still a little bit of a drip there, but not as bad as it could have been, I suppose. Alright, so that's actually a little bit above the 5, no big deal. Then we're gonna go, if I can get this open, rest of the way with activator. Oof, that has a pretty strong smell too. Alright, feels pretty mixed. I don't know how far 22 ounces is going to go, but we'll find out. Put my cap on. Clean up my mess a little bit here. Alright, here we go. So I'm using a 1.8 fluid tip. I got excited and forgot to hit the record button, but what I'm doing right now is just making sure that the fan pattern is good. So what you want is a pretty straight line with no stripes or splotches in it. So that's a pretty good pattern right there. So let's spray. All right, so I have the first coat on the inside complete. So I'm gonna let this flash for about 15 minutes and then start on the second coat. But first impressions is this stuff goes on super easy and it covers super well. I mean, you saw how thick it was. There's a lot of solids in that material. So yeah, so far it's looking really good, and I'm really happy with it. Missed a couple of spots that I'll have to get on the second round. I know it's it's dark in here now, but it's really cool to see this all sort of one color. So I'm gonna do the second coat on the inside, and then we'll move to the outside, which I'm sure you guys are super excited about, because so am I. It's gonna be awesome to see this all one solid uniform color. All right, so I got 2 coats on the interior, so now we're gonna move to the exterior. Well, had a little bit of an accident, and just since we're all learning here, this is what happens when you don't make sure the tip of your gun is securely fastened to the gun. So give me a few minutes while I get that cleaned up, and then we'll get back to painting. Okay, well, I always wanted epoxy floors in the shop, so silver lining, right? All right, let's get back to painting. Check it out, guys. The cab is officially all one color. Man, and I think it looks so good. Even though this is just a couple of coats of epoxy primer, it's not supposed to look good, but man, just finally having this thing all one color is really cool to see. So what is next? Like I said, this is just the base coat epoxy primer. This is going to seal out moisture, prevent rust and all that stuff. Going directly over top of this is going to be a layer of high build primer. Probably just on the exterior. I don't think we need to do any on the dash or in the back here, since there's not really a whole lot of, if any, really body work that needs to happen in there. So just hit the exterior with 2 coats of the high build primer and start blocking. So we'll identify our high spots and low spots, use filler where needed, like these spots here where I welded the old screw holes for that drip rail. Like those are definitely low spots, so we'll have to add filler to those and block that out. So do all of our blocking, and then once that's all done, then we'll seal it again with a coat of sealer. All right, so I'm out of time this weekend. I'm super stoked that we got the cab all the way into a primer. It's all one color. Man, it looks so good, and I'm so excited about this. So now I just have all of the rest of the truck to do. The bed, I got the doors, the fenders, just so much more to do. So I'm probably gonna do all that off camera and get all of the body panels to this stage, so that the next video can be, hopefully, everything is back on the truck, like sorta kinda assembled. So that way I can do all the blocking and all the Bondo and stuff with all the panels on the truck to make it straight. So it's probably going to be a little while before the next episode comes out. I super appreciate you guys sticking with me through this project, even though it's taking so long. That's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and for liking and subscribing, and honestly keeping me motivated. You guys are sending me a lot of awesome comments and even pictures of projects that you guys are working on. Like that Kodiak C4500. That thing looks awesome. Definitely keep it up. I can't wait to see that thing on the road. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.